few words with you all about my greatest pleasure it was yesterday to receive awards on behalf of Finey Town Council for the Lawn Cemetery, and then to my delight to receive many an award for one group in particular and one person in particular. I'm going to come around and give these to you, but I would just like to tell you everybody what you've won. So, the Friends of Finey Park 2019 Yorkshire Rose Discretionary Supporting Tourism Award, well done Catherine. And then Friends of Finey Park have won a Platinum Award, which is magnificent. But the one that's absolutely head and shoulders above the rest, and this was out of all of Yorkshire that this person has won this, not just Finey or Scarborough, but the whole 500 people there yesterday, David. And it is our Community Champion Award. And this is what was said about Catherine. Catherine is a founder member of Friends of Finey Park, which was formed in 2003. In the last 16 years, she has taken on various roles within the group and is now in her second spell as chairman. She is the driving force behind all the events and fundraising activities that the group either arrange or participate in. Additionally, Catherine volunteers with numerous town groups, bringing energy and commitment to whichever project she is working on. She can often be found taking Finey visitors and residents alike on local history walks across the town. Finey has a visible passion for the park, Catherine, sorry, has a visible passion for the park, and as she steers the Friends group, the quality of this environment is for all to benefit. Finey is at the heart of everything Catherine does, and the town benefits from her spirit and enthusiasm. I would just like you to know that this was on a huge screen and spoken of to everybody, so it was wonderful to be able to accept that on your behalf. So if you would like to come around the front of this, Catherine, we have something from Finey Town Council for you. Look who she's in. Yes, it's what? Oh, you didn't have to do the last thing, like that. Oh! So this is from your certificate. Why are you getting that? Well, but this is from all Finey Town Council, how proud we are of what a magnificent job that you do. You do, absolutely.
Jackie?
Yes, sir?
Could you get the plan?
Just come back
Wait a minute. Really well done now. I'm going to give you all these, and I've also got something else for you. I've got to go home. I know.
An invoice for some flowers.
If you want to leave these here to be picked up at any point, absolutely. And I've also got the video to show you as well, we've got more time. Unfortunately, we haven't got screens to show on here.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you everybody. Well done, Catherine.
And can I just give you...
yes you can. Thank you so much. Thank you, partner. We're going now.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Catherine. Second shift of an evening. Right, find out where I am now. Apologies. I'll now hand over to Park to read out any apologies, please.
We've had apologies from Sergeant Vicky Mason from the police when she's tied up this evening. That's all.
No problem. Number 2, declarations of interest. Council to receive any declarations of interest in accordance with the requirements of the Local Map 2011, and to consider any applications for dispensation in relation to disclosure of pecuniary interest or personal interest. Are there any declarations? No, thank you. Number 3, public participation time. Any of the members of the public would like to speak? No? The definitely no? Fine, thank you very much. Number 4, North Yorkshire Police Report. As you're aware, we have the apologies from the police here tonight and no representative, but I'm sure you've read the report and any questions you'll have to direct to the police. I don't think they're coming later at all, are they?
No,
Yeah.
she's unavailable this evening.
Number 5, Borough and County Councils reports. To receive reports from the Borough Councillors, I'm sure you've all read them. We've had them from Councillor Casey. Has anybody got anything they would like to ask Councillor Casey about his report, or are you all happy? Councillor Gage.
It's not in relation directly to what Councillor Casey has written this month, but it's, I think it's a Scarborough issue. So for any of the Scarborough councils on their radio. It was mentioned at the last meeting that there's been some antisocial behaviour up at the Mugger, and the doors were removed from the Mugger, and also the wall of the shelter. Removing the doors of the Mugger, I know this because I've been up there playing with my little boy, it kind of renders the space useless for the purpose it was intended. And I don't actually see how removing those doors can limit antisocial behaviour. I don't quite understand that reasoning.
Yes, certainly.
Scarborough Council was approached by the police to remove the doors to the Mugger and also the rear of the shelter because they were having some antisocial behaviour there and some criminal damage to the gates when they were locked at night. And if you notice the Mugger with the back, when you're driving down West Avenue towards it, you don't have a view who's inside it. So the police asked for the back to be taken off so they had a clear view who was in there. I did query it last month, but it was a done deal by then, unfortunately. But I think we can look at putting the gates back on, really. I could see the point of having the back wall taken off to give the police a good view, but not the gates.
Yes.
No,
Yes. Sorry.
Another question. Contentious, but if there's antisocial behaviour there at the moment with the Mugger and the shelter, and that is the proposed siting of the skate park, I'm just putting the idea out there that perhaps it's not the best location for the skate park.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I contacted Sandra Rees, the community impact, to ask about this antisocial behaviour, because looking back at police reports, there doesn't ever appear to be any down there, or none that's reported. They said they would monitor it, but I don't think there is any antisocial behaviour there that's actually reported. There may well be some that we don't know about, but certainly non-reported. If you look at this month's police report, for instance, there's no antisocial behaviour reported down there, so that's something we should take up with the police, I think, really.
Are you happy with that response?
Yeah, I will take it with the police because it makes sense.
Thank you very much. Councillor Wilkie.
Yeah, through you then, Chair. Can I respond to that about skate park, although I'm talking about it later?
Yes,
Do you want me to cover it
like
later or now?
Is it lengthy?
No, just in response to Councillor. I think I get your point, totally take your point. I think Councillor Casey said it's really up to the police, isn't it? So no matter where anything is, you can have the possibility of antisocial behaviour. So currently, and we'll see later on, if the skate park isn't in that location, it won't be anywhere. Right. I'm not meaning that as a threat, but it's a possibility that if that ended up being the case, there's no go on for it. But I'll come to that later.
Right, Councillor Casey, would you like to respond?
Yes, I would. I can envisage, and I certainly would push it for, if the Ravine skate park ever comes into being, then it would be the ideal spot to extend CCTV down there, and I will be pushing for that through the community, as I'm sure my colleagues will do.
So, Councillor Butterworth first.
On the subject of the police and the antisocial behaviour there, I couldn't see the police supporting the skate park and being so involved in the skate park group if there was a problem and they anticipated a bigger problem up there by putting the skate park there. So I think that's a statement to be taken with a pinch of salt, really, that there's antisocial behaviour.
Councillor Wilkie.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to come back to my original point. There's a couple of things really from Councillor Casey's report. I'm pleased as Chairman of the Planning to see that he's voted against the log cabins up at the Bay. It was almost a done deal, but they were just reduced, but it's nice to see support from our ward councillor and from the planning. And the other thing really is about his decision to say how he got it wrong voting against voting for the scheme in Scarborough, which I think is only to be commended that someone would have the guts to go public and say that they made a mistake. It's clearer now on some of the reasons that I just wanted to say. It's nice to see.
Thank you. Councillor Hatsby.
Kevin picked up both topics I picked up. I wanted to compliment Councillor Casey on voting against the cabins. How on earth relocating a nature reserve from Highway to Flixton and then making it inaccessible to the public is in our own interest. It's an absolute, I'd personally like us to write to Scarborough Council expressing our disgust that the loss of a nature reserve to another parish and then it's not accessible to the public. I mean, you can't tell the poor old nukes to jump on a number 24 bus and bugger off to Flixton, can you? You know, I mean, how's it work? It just doesn't ring true to me. It's Scarborough all in all. That's the first one. The Argos development. I mean, does Scarborough work dual standards? Because the reports I've read on the media state that a lot of the councils had plenty of time to discuss the report, and Councillor Casey saying he had half a day if that. So is there a dual standard working within the borough that some get it early and some get it late?
I had that input on the morning of the full council meeting that was going to be deciding it. It was at 11 o'clock till 12:15, I think, and then we went into council at 2. So it really rushed, really didn't have time to. It was a massive project to really look at the full implications of it.
It's just why some councils, obviously on the media, state that they've had plenty of time to read it.
Perhaps cabinet hasn't.
Pardon?
Perhaps the cabinet hasn't.
No, it wasn't just the cabinet. There was quite a few reports on media that said they've had plenty of time to read it. You know.
Councillor Gage.
It's separate from any of this. Just to bring up, because I think it's a Scarborough issue once again, just the paddling pool. I don't know, I have been in the paddling pool quite a bit this summer, the condition of it. That would be Scarborough Borough Council, wouldn't it, that are responsible for the paddling pool. The plaster's actually coming off the bottom of the paddling pool. You can actually feel it coming away at feet, so I think that needs mentioning. And also as well, after what happened this summer, you know, we had nice weather, and it wasn't open until after the Easter holidays, so can we actually try and get it to coincide so that it opens, rather than, you know, whatever Scarborough Council have always done, can we make sure it coincides with school holidays? Missing a trick there, I think, if it's not.
Yes, we'll pass that.
Thank you. That was it.
Thank you, Chair. Anybody else have any questions for Councillor Casey?
Not a question, Madam Chairman, but some clarification. All councillors had the report regarding the Argos a week before.
A week? Would you like to respond to that, Councillor
Well,
Casey?
yes, well, I didn't. I was on holiday anyway.
Right.
I came back the day before the council meeting, so that's why I had to have the training on that final day. I can't speak for the councillors. I didn't take my iPad to the Black Sea.
Thank you. Anybody else, any questions for Councillor Casey? If not, we'll go on to Councillor Cockburn report. Anybody got any questions for Councillor Cockburn, please? Councillor Wilkie.
Not a question really, a comment. It's just about the RNLI trial.
Yeah.
I totally agree. There's no point in doing it at Redcar Beach.
No.
It's got to be done on more than one occasion, maybe at the Cobble Landing. Maybe with throngs of cars and people there as well. You have to contend with. So just agree with that point.
Thank you.
I have actually invited them to come to a site meeting with relevant professional people. Whether they come or not is another matter.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to comment or speak with Councillor Foxwell regarding the report? Councillor Cross, would you like to verbalise your report, please?
I certainly would love to verbalise my report. Madam I would have said it's been a quiet time at the council, but it's never a quiet time at the council, and work always goes on, whether it's the summer or not. And I think one interesting thing is there is now a look at the council, how we actually change the council for the better of all. So that before we've actually seen the council run by a cabinet, and they have the ultimate power, and they have the ultimate vote on what we're going on and what we're not going on. We had a meeting this week with somebody from the Centre for Public Studies, and we're looking at a different model on how the council can be run. That has gone out to all members, and all members were invited to attend. And there's various ways that the council can be run. It can be run with an executive and scrutiny. It could be run with just committees, and that is all up in the melting pot at present. We also had the current problem prior, where we had a strong leader that was elected for 4 years and could not be removed. And one of the wishes of the independents is that the leader, and it was spoke clearly, all independents agree with this, that we don't have a strong leader anymore. We have a leader, and he's up for election every year. And that's one of the things that we're pushing for as independents at the present time, and a change in way, so that every councillor's voice in Scarborough is heard. And I think if it happens, and everybody's, will have to say, a vote to all 46 councillors, that there will a change in it, there will be a change in council, and there will be hopefully a way that the council is run, and the fact that it now will be run for the people. And that's one of the things that I actually believe in, and it's one of the things why, we are looking for change at present. Just on one other matter, tonight we're hoping to have Chris Ball here with regard to the Valley Flood alleviation work, and you've had a letter from Carol Rahel, and he said he couldn't come tonight, but he's more than welcome to come at the next meeting once we have agreements with all the landowners to actually see what is going on and what shape the Valley Flood alleviation scheme will take. Okay.
Thank you very much. Anybody got any questions or want to reference anything? Yes, absolutely.
Councillor Fox, are there any other councils using a different model that we know of? Would this be a new thing?
No, I think there's, is it Sundown Council that are using, Sundown, and there's various councils that are using it. And, it's one of them things. I think the important thing is, before there's been a silent majority at Scarborough, and hopefully that will be moved away. Every council will be able to affect what actually goes on throughout the borough. In the past we've had the people that have had the most votes that said this is happening, come what may, and hopefully, that will actually change. We could change it, Just one other thing is, I'm sure Councillor Siddons will go through it on the 8th of October when he visits the council, go through what will happen in the future.
Just to clarify for Councillor Wilkie, there are councils in the country that aren't cabinet run. They are still operating on the committee structures that Scarborough Borough Council used to do. When Scarborough Borough Council went onto the cabinet system, it was because the majority of Scarborough Borough councillors wanted that system. They could have stayed as it was with the committee system, so it is different all over the country. maybe whatever council voted for at the Senate.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Cross. North Yorkshire County Council's report, and I hope you tabled this evening, and I've asked all of you to have a look at them. I know it was short notice, but I hope you've had enough time to have a look at them. If anybody would like to have any comments to Councillor Squires, Councillor Haddon.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Councillor Squires for her work, because everything that was brought up, she's dealt with, and yeah, I'd like to thank her for that.
Thank you. Everybody else happy with the report? No further questions?
No, I'd just like to thank you for the hedge being cut on Scarborough Road. I saw in the evening news last week, there was a hell of a hue and cry about it from a disabled person. Now, I've been bringing this up 3 months, at least, in this chamber.
North Yorkshire hasn't been able to find the owner of the hedge on the land register, and I believe that
Scarborough Council eventually cut it with your pursuits.
Yes, but I understand that you know who the owner of the hedge is.
It depends where you define the hedge, and it isn't brambles, it's blackthorn.
Well, the land hedge, whichever it was, at the last meeting you said could you let us have a contact, name and address? Because undoubtedly this is likely to happen again.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Cotswold.
Hedges grow.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it would happen again, because it depends how quickly the county council move to create a new retirement facility there.
Well, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, no further questions? Yes, sorry, Councillor Cotswold.
Yeah, just a bit of clarification about the Muscombe Road, the drainage. I find the last sentence quite misleading. It refers to the tank that's in the playing fields, where it says once this is full. To my knowledge, it's never been full, because it holds 1 million litres of water.
I'll pass that on.
So I think it's a bit of a red herring.
I'll pass that on, because obviously I'm not an engineer.
Okay, thank you. Like anything else to add, Councillor Squires, you happy? Nobody else wants to ask any further questions?
Yes, we'll leave the extra care until the later, an item later in the agenda.
Yeah, absolutely, that's fine. Right, so we're going to number 6, Town Clerk and the RFO report. Receive the report from the Town Clerk and the RFO. I'll hand you over to the clerk.
I hope you had a chance to read the report, and please, any questions if you have any? Yes?
Councillor Davis?
Thank you. Information signs in the first statement.
Yes.
Can you just elaborate to what signs that is?
They are the old blue finger signs. The Scarborough Council have been looking at replacing all the signs throughout the borough. Part of what I've said is that they're looking to bring us all into consultation. Consultation is supposed to happen next Tuesday, but as yet no one's had any invite. So I'm not sure whether or not it's actually happening or not. I've sent an email to Janet to question if I haven't had any reply yet on it. So it isn't just about the getting rid of the existing signs, but replacing them with something new. And the company who they have suggested to do this, they're the people who want to have a consultation in terms of what signs do we really want.
Are you okay with that? Yeah. Councillor Cotswold?
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't got an invite, because I had one weeks ago. But that was as a borough council.
Yeah.
I haven't. I sent all the names, addresses, emails for people to contact, and as yet I haven't received one to say that it's on. Because the invite I got was that it would be here. It was a sort of a possibility that this was happening on that day.
Councillor Robinson?
Well, I've got it in my diary. I just wonder where I've got it from.
I think you probably got it from me in terms of it was a possible date.
Right.
Janet was supposed to be sending out formal invites to everyone.
Councillor Haxley?
Yeah, the Coast Guard this year, as they have done every year, is hosting the final timing session stage computer system for the track and rally. So it'll be open all day, so if any town council does take on their own, or indeed any town council if they want to come along for a cup of tea, it will be open and you can have a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, Councillor Casey.
I've also received an invite for Tuesday, by the way. David, any further forward with organising a walkabout?
Yeah, it's organised for the 4th of October.
October, I think it is.
What time?
9:30, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. 9:30, I think we can send out a definite time.
Yeah. I'll send an invite out to everyone.
So we'll just, yeah, absolutely. That's class of thing like that again. Yes.
From here, is it?
We'll be doing from
Starting.
here. Yes. Okay, that's lovely. We're all happy with that. We'll move on to number 7. Minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on Wednesday the 14th of August 2019. We've read them all, and you're all happy. Could you please have a proposer?
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. So, have a please propose. Number 8, council committee meetings and reports and work organisations. Again, had the chance to read these minutes. I'd like to ask the chair of each committee if they want to comment on anything. If they would like to raise their hand. If not, would you consider voting these two on block? Planning committee, town map and guide and events.
Suppose that.
Thank you.
Did you want to speak about it?
No, because it's actually itemised here. I think it's quite clear.
So can we have a show of hands please for that? Councillor, you, happy to vote? Can take them on block?
I can't vote. I wasn't at the meeting, so how can I vote?
Thank you.
I don't see how you can do it on block, quite honestly. Because there are individual meetings and different people at different meetings.
Are you happy to vote on block on general as a council, or do you want to go through them individually?
Happy to vote on block.
On block?
I think on a point of order, Madam Mayor, you can't prove that it's an accurate record if you weren't at the meeting.
Right? Yes, Councillor.
We're just to note that these are minutes are taken. That is what we are voting on, not that they are an accurate record.
Is that clear for everybody that what you
Well,
voted
it's a
on?
total waste of doing it then, isn't it?
Right, let's move on, because we've had the vote and it's gone, been seconded, totally seconded. So, is anybody from the members of local organisations anything they'd like to report into? Yes, Councillor Butterworth.
I attended the FBI meeting last Friday afternoon. Just like to say they've concluded their season of summer walks very successfully, and the full programme of winter talks is now in place, and will be on a Thursday night in room 21-22 once a month in the Ebron Centre through the winter month.
Lovely, thank you very much, Councillor Butterworth. Councillor Robinson.
Is that kind of by initiative?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm supposed to be on that committee, and I've never heard anything to say there's a meeting.
Councillor Robinson's email's been forwarded to Erling.
Yes.
Right, I'll bring it up.
Thank you.
I'll do it again though, just remind her on.
Yes, thank you.
Just to report that Finally in Bloom had their summer fair in Crescent Garden, and it was a fantastic event, and we raised quite a lot of money from that. Thank you, Madam Mayor, for coming and opening that. And it was a good day.
Okay, thank you. Everybody happy? Nobody wants to say anything else on this, no? Right, we'll move on to number 9 then. Casual vacancy on the site town council. Following the start of an unexpected death of Councillor John Shackleton, a casual vacancy has arisen on the council. The result following the publishing of the notice of vacancy is that there will be an election. The date of this election now is not known. Oh, maybe we do know now. Yes.
We do know, yes, it will be the 31st of October.
I'll just continue with this, please. 2 committee vacancies are also available on Finance and General Purpose Committee and Staffing Committee. As the vacancy will not be filled until at the earliest of November and the requirement to start the budget setting process as soon as possible, along with the need to confirm bank account signatories, it is suggested that the vacancy on F and GB. Councillor Casey? Sorry.
I was just asking you a question, was
Should you all written?
Right, sorry, did you all get that last bit, that conversation there? That the suggested the vacancy on F and GB is filled as soon as possible. Therefore, proposals will be required for members to join this committee. So, can I ask for proposals for anybody that would like to join the Finance and GB committee, please? Councillor Haskell.
I think there is a need for an experienced person, and I would propose Councillor Wilkie
Propose Wilkie.
as a past member as well.
Anybody else want to put themselves up in proposed? I'll second Councillor Wilkie.
I'll second Councillor Wilkie. I'm quite happy if Councillor Wilkie goes on.
Okay. Can we have a vote now? Don't have to vote. It's just Councillor Wilkie.
Was anyone else want to propose anybody else?
Are you happy to stand?
Yeah,
You're happy to stand? Do we need to vote on it? Is there anyone standing? No? So Councillor Wilkie, congratulations. If approved, we will leave the position on the staffing committee and as a representative of local organisations until after the by-election to allow the new members to have the option of gaining experience of committee and procedures and representing the council if you're all happy with that. Give the new person. Thank you very much. Schedule for payments, number 10. Any members wish to make any comments or ask questions about the schedule? So could we have a proposer and a seconder for this, and if nobody's got anything proposed, the Councillor Sutherland and a seconder. If we all agree with that, please, Joe. Thank you very much. Number 11, care for the elderly in Filey. At the previous meeting, it was requested of County Council Esquire for information regarding current and future care for the elderly in Filey. Council Esquire has provided what we asked for, so again, should we go back to any questions that you'd like to ask?
Yeah, just one thing. I mean, the events that were stated on here involving the public for consultation, I don't think they were very well publicised because I certainly didn't know of them. And other people have commented to me that they didn't know neither. So that was one thing. The other thing is that I think we should take up the offer from North Yorkshire County Council for the commissioning manager, whoever it, I think it was the commissioning manager, come along to our October meeting, just to clarify a few points to them. That would be very useful.
It would be useful if questions could be tabled. It doesn't mean to say you can't bring in other questions on the day, but to make sure that we've got all the information that you require, and also to help with
Yes.
I neglected to put in the visit to Bramsdale View Extra Care in Hemsley when Councillors Randall, Harkin and Howgate attended, and at that meeting there was Dale Owen, the Assistant Director for Commissioning and Quality, Becky Dukes, the Housing Marketing and Development Manager, and Andrea Brazil, the Scheme Manager. They were all in attendance to answer any of their questions. I should have put that in the report, but to be honest, I forgot.
No, that's fine, thank you. Yes, Councillor Hackby.
Once it says affordable rental units, it means absolutely nothing to anybody. It can be anything. I would like to say take a typical person in silver birches at the moment. How much it's costing them now, and how much it would cost them to live in identical conditions up there. Then I would be convinced that they're not going to be paying all.
I would suggest that if we can, I will ask someone to come along to the next meeting, and if you table that question, and then there'll be answers.
You see what I'm getting at? That affordable to you is probably not.
Yes, but I don't know the absolute figures. This is a personal matter for residents, and I don't know the figures.
Councillor Randall.
Yeah, I mean, when we actually did the visit, we did ask some of those questions, and we were assured that some of the residents, if they were eligible to go to the extra care housing, would not be financially disadvantaged. Now, when this person comes, we can, like I say, have further discussion on that, but that's what we were told on the visit.
So I think the thing is our part to write to the Commissioner and invite them to the meeting and for everybody to table their questions to the clerk prior to the invite so that he knows or she knows the questions that are going to be asked. I'm sure the floor will be open for a few added questions, but the main bulk of your concerns for the final residents and the people that are going to use disabilities, we need to have a writing place.
It is a substantial investment and the faith that the council is filing. I mean this scheme is going to cost 11.1 million. So it is not small money.
No. Okay, thank you. Have we got any other questions about apart from what we're going to already email in to ask when we invite the guests for next meeting? If not, I will move on to number 12.
So the storage is going to cost 11 million?
That's what
Just one development.
that's what's been allocated.
So I presume this company needs to get its money back. It's not going to throw 11 million of it, is it?
Well,
And to recoup 11 million from even 100
it's
million.
the same with any of these schemes, but it is the faith that the council has been filing and wanting to do the best for itself and its people.
I'm not convinced now,
Well, if you table the questions and then we'll try and get to the bottom of your concerns at the next meeting. So we're just going round in circles without it.
We need to get no message to like this. Anybody else want to say anything regarding this? No? I'll move on if you're all happy for me to go on to number 12. So please do send your questions to the clerk, because if you don't send them, they won't get asked. It's our opportunity. Private Youth Sports Club. The council and club are entering the final negotiations with Scarborough Athletic Football Club, which will be ratified by the Football Foundation prior to final agreement. Councillor Wilkie, provide the latest status, please.
Yes, I'm happy to say that we've got some documents that both sides are happy with, well all sides are happy with. The Football Foundation have put some points forward, some minor points, different wording, but it just means the same, so we're all happy with that. Football Foundation are happy as well, so it's just a case of signing those off. One of the members of our committee is on holiday till the 17th of September, so once he comes back from holiday we'll get those signed off and then away we go.
Thank you. Any questions from Councillor Wilkie regarding this? Or have you been quite forthright in his answers to you all? Thank you. That's great, thank you. We'll go on to number 13 then, Primary Flood Alleviation Scheme. I hope you've had a chance to read the report, or a short report, questions. These can be recorded and sent to Scarborough Council. It is hoped that the Scarborough Council Project Officer will attend the October meeting to provide an outline on this project. Pardon?
As stated previously.
Yes, as stated by Councillor Cross.
Yeah, I spoke to the officer concerned, and subject to there being full agreement with all parties concerned, we will attend the meeting on the 9th of October.
Yes, Councillor Wilkie.
Very, very short report, and then the response really tells us nothing really, does it, about the state of the scheme. I hope the officer does come to the October meeting. It's imperative that he comes and gives us further updates, and that we get regular updates. We know who's involved in the scheme at Scarborough Council. Now we've not got the connection of the councillor Cochran. It's imperative that we get some answers from the officers as to what's going on and when things will get moving and really bring us up to date.
The clerk might be able to aid us with that.
Yeah, just again, could I ask for you to send me questions that you may have, or an outline of, and that's really councillors or members of the public as well, who could, so to ensure that the project officer is fully armed with the information that we would want from him.
Yes, Councillor Cockle.
There's two simple questions that want answering. When is it going to start and how long is it going to take?
Okay. Yes, Councillor Hackney.
What is upsetting is I've sat on the local committee since 2002, and even then it was flagged up that there may be problems getting the land. And we were assured by borough officers that compulsory purchase would be no problem. And that goes back to 2002. It's now 2019, and they're still having problems getting the land. We've had 17 years to try and sort this out.
Quite understandable. It's very, frustrating for everybody, and hopefully this Scarborough Council project officer, hopefully, might be able to give us some information. We can only look, Craig? Yes, Councillor Cockle.
Yeah, what Council actually said, partly correct. But just to clarify, you can't just jump in and do a compulsory purchase straight away. You've got to go through all the motions as have been done and still is ongoing. It's only at that point, if there is no agreement and it can be shown that it's to the benefit of the community, that then you can start the compulsory purchase process. I was actually contacted by one of the land agents, representing some of the landowners, expressing concerns about the performance of the Borough Council officers and other professionals involved with the project. And I forwarded the concern to the leader of the council. In his response, he stated that he had discussed the concerns with officers. He attempted to assure me that the delays we have experienced are not unusual in complex legal transactions, particularly where three parties are acting together with the council. He added, I appreciate this must be frustrating for you, but I do feel officers are working with the landowners' representatives to complete the arrangements as quickly as possible. In his statement to the meeting of the Borough Council next week, the leader stated, the completion of the land deals has now reached the final stages, with the transfer documentation being finalised by solicitors on all sides. And following this, the project team will finalise the tender analysis and negotiation. And I'll repeat that. Following this, the project team will finalise the tender analysis and negotiation. When I read this, I was very concerned, as it appeared that in relation to engaging a contractor, little had happened since the tenders were received in mid-May. And I've emailed both the leader and the chief executive expressing my concern as to the way the borough was not handling the matter in an efficient way. We now have the situation where officers appear to be telling the leader that everything that should be done is being done, but that is contradicted by people working for the owner of the land with the opposite opinion. It's as bad as Boris telling us he's going to get a Brexit deal.
Anybody got anything to ask or add to that? Or? No? Councillor Cockle. So we want, sorry, you're taking it, Councillor Gay?
Is it too late in the day to ask the SDC officers for a presentation to those of us that are new to the council for what the actual proposals are, what they're actually going to do? Because I'm not completely on board with exactly.
Councillor Cockle, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, it's relatively simple. Basically, they're going to create a ditch around a shallow ditch, which will divert the water running down off the higher agricultural land. It'll hit the ditch, and it'll either go down Arndale to sea, or go into other temporary storage areas, where it will be discharged in a controlled manner, allowing the drainage system in the town itself to have emptied. So it will be discharged slowly into the town system, and then go, where the surface water goes. There will be 3 temporary storage holding areas. There's 2 above Wooldale Drive and 1 near the Boys and Girls Football Club. And then also, in a way, the dams will act as one as well. But that's the basic area. And We said after the 2002 flood, when we were asked what fire they needed, we said a ditch round it. And that's what we're getting, but it's taken all this time to get it.
Okay, councillor?
Yeah, sorry,
If you want, sorry, if you want to see any details of it, it's all down in the office because it's gone through the planning application.
It's just where the ones that McCarthy and Stone are building, where that's
Right.
linked into the
Right. Well,
flood alleviation scheme.
it joins on the end of it.
Joins on the end of it, so they're doing that separately.
Yes.
An independent. Okay.
Councillor Wilkie?
Yeah, just through you, Chair, yeah, that part of it was part of the original scheme, and,
That wasn't.
was it not?
No.
Oh, sorry.
No.
It wasn't.
No, it ended so far and then they've had to in effect extend it.
Yes, they're doing
protect
that
their
separately to
standards.
that. I beg your pardon, that was part of the original scheme.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Cox?
Sorry, Chair.
Yes, certainly.
It may be worth, for the next meeting, maybe giving out the plans and the definition for everybody to...
Well, I think as Councillor Cox said, that it's free for everybody to go in their own time and view them. I mean, they're all down there, the people can just come, work, you know.
I think it would be worthwhile for everybody to have a look at them. As you said, before the meeting.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
before the meeting, not in
Because
the meeting.
really the meeting, what wants to be, you know, when's it going to happen?
Yes. Yes, Councillor.
Not to be awkward, but if somebody else does come and get it, because they forward it to me, because I'm literally at work every time they're open. That would be, go and get them just if somebody is.
Big PDF.
Yes.
Well, there's a big PDF too.
Oh, right.
But I'm sure it's,
I mean, like that, I'll just drop it in if there's a hard copy or whatever. We can.
Yeah, but I'm at work. The whole time you're right, then. Yeah.
Councillor Wilkie?
Sorry, if you put it onto the OneDrive on here, then send the link to everyone that can access it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We'll do that. Thank you. That's a pleasure. Have we all finished discussing the flood alleviation scheme? Anybody else have anything to say? Shall we move on to 14 then? Sports facility funding. Following communications from Scarborough Council encouraging both Fire and Scarborough Council to consider alternative projects with respect to allocating funds. Councillor Cockrell wishes to propose a working group is formed to invite expressions of interest from organisations, individuals, for capital supporting or leisure projects in Fire that will add value to existing facilities or increase participation. The working group will investigate and provide advice and, if appropriate, make recommendations to the Town and Borough Council for allocations of funding. Does any councillor wish to debate this motion? No? Then could I ask for a proposer and a seconder for this motion then, please?
I'll propose it.
Councillor Cockrell proposes it and Councillor Mills-Wilkie seconds it. And I will vote on that. We're all, yep, thank you very much. This being resolved, the Council would look for proposals as to members of this working party, which is proposed to consist of 6 members of the Council and invited members of the public where relevant. Terms of reference would be formulated for approval at the first meeting. Could I therefore ask for proposals from members who wish to join this working party, please? To raise your hand. So we have Councillor Wilkie, Councillor Holgate, Councillor Haxby, Councillor Robinson, Councillor... Are you saying we're going to this way?
Okay.
Councillor Cockrell, Councillor Mills, Councillor Goodman.
If it's oversubscribed, I'll drop out. That's fine. Because you're on the skate park. I wasn't going on the skate park. That's what was on last time.
You're stepping down.
Yeah, if there's 7 on.
We're all happy that the 6 that we've got on the working party. Get this person out of it. Thank you all very much for being so productive this evening and wanting to join the working team. Councillor Casey.
Where are you getting the other membership from the existing sports facilities?
Councillor Cochran.
If I can explain it, the basic idea was that any group that has got an idea of a capital project, the skateboard, the BMX pump, they would approach the working group and send representatives. So it's, you know, just people who've got somebody to put forward. You know, not local laws and everybody.
That's to be talking to.
Could I suggest that we possibly put a little article in the Town Crier for October, publicising this, and therefore we then start getting some expressions of interest very quickly, and other websites.
Yeah. Okay, Councillor Mills?
That was all I was going to say, just making sure that it is as well publicised as possible, because I think, you know, quite often people miss stuff if it's not online.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Robinson?
Can I ask that people who deliver it are told to deliver it a lot quicker than they've done in the past? I got
We
mine
can
after
remain
everything had finished by the time I got mine.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Councillor Casey?
Maybe an article will be put at final day today. I think the deadline's the 21st of October, 21st isn't it? Councillor Rosenwood. With no disrespect to the town crying, it's more widely read, I think.
That's been already volunteered. Thank you. Councillor Gage?
Because we know that we're talking about quite a lot of money here. It really needs to be very well advertised, and I don't know if everybody picks up Friday, you know, the crier and reads it as well as they should.
It goes on our Facebook page anyway. So.
Well, I mean, I put it on my Facebook page as well, but I think we really need to advertise it so that we can help as many people as possible to improve the town. So can we not put an advert in the Scarborough News, for example, and they go, you know, there's an online thing there, you've got a Facebook page, and make it a big thing. You know, it's not like anybody can just come in, they're going to have a
meet criteria.
Yeah, and have a business plan, but we really, I think, you know, one of the things that we have got criticism for, and I don't even want people that criticise the council for it, is not advertising it as well, you know, so I think we really need to make it as widely available as we possibly can.
Well, maybe the committee can discuss and put a view to when it's all. Yes, Councillor Mills.
I was just going to second what Councillor Crawford Gage said, in that I think a lot of the members of Fire are really interested in what we're doing, and there is a lot of people in Fire with expertise, I think, and money, so it might be definitely beneficial to advertise as much as possible, and I was going to suggest that Scarborough is in use as well.
Well, so rather than put an advert in, we could just get them to hopefully come along and do an article on it,
Yeah.
rather than spending money on that.
Do that.
Many options, really,
I was just going to say that if you put it on your radar, that's great.
And when we get our new law thing down in Westland.
Yeah.
Councillor Cockburn.
Well, the big return I was going to say about Yorkshire Coast Radio, I mean, I can go along and have a word with them, I won't, you know, if that's acceptable.
Yeah. So, well, that's wonderful news then. Yes, Councillor Casey, I'm not doing any discussing the state of views of stuff, am I? Sorry, do beg your pardon.
As read.
Sorry, do go ahead.
I've got a very recent but very good contact at Scarborough News. If you want to pass that on to you, through the lines I've found her out. She's very, very keen to feature Fire issues.
Thank you, yes,
So I'll email you that day.
Thank you.
So I'll appreciate it. Then once the group gets themselves organised with a chair and move forward, it could be exciting times for Fire, I would think. Yes, positive. So, on to number 15, Ravine Skate Park. Councillor Wilkie, could you provide an update, please, on this project, or the progress?
Yeah, with pleasure. The last meeting we had was on the 4th of September. Prior to that, it was the AGM in April, wasn't it? Yeah. So, at the meeting, there have just been a few changes on the committee. I've now gone to the chair, Jeff Meeks stood down and gone to the treasurer. We still need a secretary. The previous one has vacated. Well, it was one of the police, so she's not doing that now. But we've got sight of all the documentation that the police have, and it almost feels to me, I don't know how any other members of the committee felt, but it's almost like we're starting again from fresh. Yes, we've had some quotes in the past, we've had the children and EBOR involved, and the police have been heavily involved, but nothing's moved forward. So, you know, we're sort of determined now to try and get it to move forward. So, that means that obviously with the previous item, you know, we would certainly be putting an expression of interest in for funding from there. But for anyone that doesn't know, it was sort of the police's community project, sort of headed by Tony Bates, I think, initially, and someone from the school. It was sort of thought that we need to contact the school again, because I would say most of the kids that were involved have left the school. So we want to know, is it still a requirement, is it still what they want, and try and get them involved. So I contacted the school, and they're going to come back to me with someone who might take it on. I'm unsure who that's going to be yet, but it's got to go to the senior leadership team, I think it is.
Yeah.
So hopefully someone will come back to me on that one. But currently no one at the school is involved, but we want that to change. We've created one of the members created a Facebook page which within minutes got like 20 people attached to it. It's even made me join Facebook to be able to post on it and keep track of it. So that's going well. There's 50 people joined. So again, it's something we've got to get out to the wider community. We've got to get out to the wider community to get some more interest really. We've got some interest from Councillor Casey mentioned about the Lions Youth Committee possibly, and we've had an interest from the Sea Cadets maybe asking if they want to get involved. But it is really, we're going to have to get some more quotes, you know, and find out what they actually want. Is it still the same design as what we've got, which would be great. We've got letters from Borough about the land, giving us support for the land, although just asking for some questions for us to answer, which we can't yet because it's not moved forward. We've also got the police. They do still want to be involved. They can't dedicate one officer to it like they have before because they just haven't got resources. So what we're going to do is whichever PCSO is on duty at the time of the meetings, they will come to the meeting. They've all got relationships with the school rather than just one person. So that it's going to be a collective thing from the police. They don't want to walk away, but they can't put the time and effort in that they used to. But at least they're still, you know, they're still involved. But really, it's about getting everybody involved and trying to get this up and running. Certainly, if there's any funding there, it's time limited, so we need to sort of crack on and really get it moving. So, but we do need more help, I suppose, don't we?
I would expect this would be one of the perfect examples to join this new group that we're setting up, the money, the funding that's there.
Yes, absolutely. But you know, we're trying to attract people to get involved. That doesn't mean to say they have to be on the committee and be active in that way. But anyone that can help, new ideas, contacts, you know, that's what it's really all about, isn't it? So that's where we are at the moment. We're going to plan to have another meeting in October, aren't we? I've yet to get a date for that, but you know, hopefully we can sort of move on and sort of deliver something. It's been quite a long time now, isn't it? 4 or 5 years maybe?
Oh, more than that, I think.
Since it first came on. But hopefully that, you know, it's like everything else, it takes volunteers and people assisting to drive it forward. You know, and if you get enough people doing that, and they will, then it will happen. But we don't want to sort of cut the children out from the e-ball, because they really come up with the logo, didn't they, and the design and everything. And so hopefully they'll get back engaged as well.
Is that your report, Councillor?
Yes, so that's where we are.
That's questions. We've got Councillor Hargate, then Councillor Robinson, then Councillor Harrison, then Councillor Gage. Councillor Hargate, please. And then Councillor.
I went legal with German Council, they're already money put aside for the certificate back, is that right or not?
Yes.
There is some.
Yes.
We know what sum that is?
60,000.
Is that fine, Councillor Hargate?
That's fine, yeah.
Councillor Robinson?
Well, I was going to ask a question about the timing of your meetings. but as you said, you're going to try and get one in October.
Yes.
I was a bit concerned how many months to work between meetings. But you then said you're going to get one next month, so that's fine. But the other thing, can we see any sort of, can we see the plans? Are the plans available anywhere that we can see them?
Yeah, I can send what we've got round by email, if that's all right.
Please.
Yeah, I mean, they're on the Facebook page, if you all want to.
What's the name of the Facebook page?
The name of the Facebook page is Ravine Skate Park Filing.
Is that fine with you, Councillor Robinson?
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, Chair, just to go back on the meetings. The meetings were really a long way apart, and because we were waiting for the police, it had to suit the police when they could attend.
You need them to really, don't you?
So, you know, obviously now we can't in control, but now we're sort of meeting ourselves, we'll probably be more regular.
Councillor Haddington, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's very disappointing that we're nearly back to square one. And I have to wonder, with what you were saying, Councillor Wilkie, we need to get more involved. Whether that is actually part of the problem, getting so many people involved. Why can't the group just get on and do it? I mean, I've not been doing anything, but 5 years ago, I think it was, I applied to Scarborough Council for capital funding for a skate park for fire, and I identified a site. If I'd have got the funding, it'd have been up and running. So I don't see why, if there's some money there, there's some designs there, you're within costs, let's just get on and do it and give the children what they want. And if the police don't like it, that's our luck. They've got a job to do. Let them get on and do it. That's all.
Can I just respond to that? Yeah, through you, Chair. Look, I totally agree, Councillor. You know, I've not been involved previously on the committee, only just sort of this last year or so. But, you know, there's documents. Now we've got the documents from the police, we can see that there's really nothing there. That there is a quote initially from a couple of years ago. There's some plans, but sadly, all too often this is what happens, isn't it? And it just needs someone to drive it forward. So hopefully we can. I agree. The committee will probably just get on and get on with it. But you know, we just want to get other people on board if we can to support it.
If I could say, I'm not having a...
No, I know.
I'm just saying, you know, maybe it needs to be a bit stronger in future and say, no, we're going to get on with it.
Councillor James.
It was, I mean, one of them we used to address was going to send out plans, but just out of curiosity, it's concrete construction.
It is, yeah.
And the other thing was, I've had somebody approach me and said that he's a professional BMXer, and he's been all over Europe doing different things, and he's quite happy to offer some advice and things. Yeah. So we've all put it.
I mean, anybody like that with expertise and experience is brilliant for us.
Right, Councillor Cockle, have you finished your response to that?
Yes,
Councillor Cockle would like to ask a question.
Yeah, I think what Kevin said is right. It is almost going back to square one because, well, it's been fucking about. I understand what Councillor Harrington was saying about going on with it, but I don't think it's quite as simple as that. Looking at doing some investigation since we had that meeting, I think the quote for the design that had been looked at was 75k. Was it last year?
A couple of years ago.
The size of that, the footprint, was 18 metres by 12 metres. When you compare that with Harry Boats at Scarborough, it's only about a third or a quarter of the size of it. I don't know anything about skateboarding. I enjoy watching the kids, you know, going up and down and such. But I would ask the question, and I think this is why we need to really go back to square one, is that design, is the size of it adequate?
Yeah, still what the children want, yeah.
We're only going to get one chance at this, and it's got to be right.
Okay. Councillor Goodman and Councillor Haddington.
Can I go back to address Councillor Haddington's remarks about this? The council were really only supporting this in a supportive role as it being a police community-led thing in association with the EBOT children. So we took a real backseat in letting the police and the children set the pace about, and we got very frustrated that it wasn't happening very fast. But because we were only there as a backstop, if you like, really, we let them dictate, which is, in hindsight, a mistake, obviously. But now we are back to square one. We can address all these issues about size and construction and design and what have you, and perhaps why we let the children decide the design, really. Yes, we might need, Councillor Gage says, some professional, rather than just what a child's vision of something is. Oh, well, very good visions, obviously, but it's maybe not always feasible practically for numbers and usage. So, but that's why we're probably not as far as we should be in this, because we let them take the lead.
Yeah, just going on to what Councillor Cox, if I'm not mistaken, the reason the one at Airy Bobs is so big is it's split into two. I believe one part is for skateboards and scooters and the other is for BMX bikes.
Yeah, but I just say, I think, you know, when we've got the opportunity, let's go back to a clean sheet, speak to the kids, and everybody, take advice. There's loads of companies that are developing construction, and taking your point about somebody who's got experience, let's get them involved, and let's get the best for filing.
Yeah, as part of the investigations we did earlier in the year, I did contact a local council who I know have already successfully built a skate park, and they are very happy to offer us any assistance in any learning that they achieved through their process of getting it done, and I'm sure that would maybe cut a lot of corners in terms of getting it moving. It's popular where I used to live, so.
Through your chair, so could you send us that contact details?
Yeah, no problem, so.
There's also one at Norton, which is quite a nice skate park on the road to the railway station.
Yeah.
Probably Norton District Council will have some detail. It's not all right.
Okay, well, I think we discussed that quite well. We've got good ideas there, and moving forward within the new group.
Sorry, is there one more point? I mean, in future meetings, you know, we could obviously have that back on the agenda as things progress to, you know, to give updates and things like that. You know, it's as long as there is some updates to give, it's it won't be every month, but you know, unless councillors want it every month, I'm happy to give.
Councillor, we're going to bring this out.
Yeah, just one second. Do you open up the meetings to the public?
We haven't done in the past, have we?
Didn't know if we were going back to square one with the design stage and things, whether it would be worth asking them to
if people want to come along and you know, there's other people on that go to the meetings that aren't on the committee.
Yeah.
So if they've got some relevant stuff on and just interested, then I don't think, well, I don't know, I have no objections.
Yes, Councillor Cochran, I really am going to bring this to it.
Just further linking the previous item on this, and I think we're very good progress, could I suggest, because it's not going to be too late, that the members of the working group have a quick meeting straight after the end of the town council meeting.
Well, I think that's up to the group, if they wish to do that.
I'm just suggesting while we're here we might as well.
What time we finish?
I'm not thinking of a long meeting, but just to keep the ball rolling.
But we'll come back to that, Councillor Cochran, thank you, at the meeting. Number 16, bonds over seal. The condition of the statue of bonds over seal on the sea from the copper landing, right. Taken to the act who owns Bonzo, it was the copper landing traders of the time back then when it was done. It's not no longer now, just to make that clear. It's worsened recently, and the council are considering what action should be taken. The council has previously, on at least one occasion, refurbished this statue. I've no lot of complaints. Yes, Councillor Ramsey.
Can I just say, from observation, the kids absolutely love Bonzo and it would be a shame if we were to lose him. So I think if we can, we should consider renovating him again or putting him in a different material. I don't know exactly what we could use, but I don't know.
Councillor Robinson and Councillor Haxby.
I like Bonzo, but I think the fact that he's presumably, is he made out of paper mache?
No.
No, it's there, it looks like paper mache. I'd like to see it in something more substantial, that's not going to break up this.
Like a concrete or something.
Yeah, so he could stay there until the new one's delivered.
Councillor Hackney.
You know, take my granddaughter down to planning for the last 4 years. He's extremely well used, but I'm afraid, looking at him, is beyond economical repair. You can't keep filling cracks up and expecting that environment to support them. It's to be fair, nothing. It's gone. I think we need, similar to the Lion in the Vane Gardens, we need to look at a decent wood, get a decent carver to make it, and start from scratch. You know. I mean, they tried painting him with that awful, horrible paint. He really wanted oil and looking after properly, not slapping that paint on him. But I think there are so many cracks and holes in him now that you can't keep filling it. It just doesn't work.
That's just exactly what I was going to say. Let's not mess about trying to mend him. We love Bonzo, but I think it's time for Bonzo Mark II. And, you know, it's beyond repair. You know, it's so popular that you wouldn't think just a simple thing so popular that it's clear that we've got to get a new Bonzo. I'm afraid.
Yeah, I've been speaking to officers about Bonzo, because I've had a lot of complaints about it, and the necessity is definitely beyond repair. And the suggestion is to go, because I've got someone who I can't name yet, who's possibly willing to sponsor a new Bonzo depending on cost. And the SVC who checked it would suggest it's best going back in timber, and either on a timber plinth as it currently is, or on a blockwork or concrete base. But we haven't got the costings yet. I hope to have more information for the October meeting, when I hope to reveal who may be the sponsor.
Thank you. Councillor Randall?
Councillor Casey just confirmed what I was
So moving forward then, on the back of what Councillor Salvador and Councillor Case is saying, and then we could also get our own pricing, if that's what you would like to feel to do, if you want to. I know you can't say, so it's difficult, isn't it? But it's a local person that we could use to do Bonzo. Yes, Councillor Hackney, please.
Well, the tiny parts have put all those wooden statues up in, and I think it's a carver from State, if I remember rightly. If we could just get the information off them, send a photograph and say how much to make this in decent wood, not plywood or whatever.
We can do that. We can find that out from Catherine, and then we can write a letter, and then we can get some idea of money as well, where we can go from there. But I think we're all very much in agreement that we need to get a brand new one at the best price that we can, the safest that we can, for people to continue using and enjoying Bonzo on the beach. Okay, so we will write and find out, and then hopefully you've got more information next month. Thank you very much.
Can I say?
Oh yes, sorry.
I was just thinking, like, in order to get like the local schools and community involved when we actually get round to it, could we do like a bit of a naming thing? That the children do like a design name tag.
Change from being called Bonzo. No, it has to be Bonzo. The actual field was Bonzo, wasn't it? Was a live field that lived. Fishermen had it, that's where it's come from, that's where the family is from. A fisherman.
Maybe they could do like, I don't know.
No, so it won't ever be changed from Bonzo. Councillor Robinson.
The carvings in Glen Gardens are quite, got a lot of hard corners on them. And you wouldn't want to be letting little children sit on such as that, whereas Bonzo is very quite smooth. That's my only thought with the carver that's done those.
I'm sure it's probably right for the line. Right, okay, so we're happy with that. Number 17, civic service. I was just basically, I probably won't see you all together before this day. just make sure that you've got the timing. We really need to be there no later than 10:10. And for those that haven't attended one before, Sea Cadets are doing a line of honour outside Methodist Chapel, and then we will get our town crier will come and put us all in order to walk into the chapel. So don't worry about anything, it is all organised. There's reserved seats on the front, all you have to do is enjoy and sing. I've chosen some very rousing hymns. And then you can get up to the golf club for afternoon drinks and a light buffet. But it's just important that you are there in time, because we have to walk in behind the who's up walking behind?
You.
So we have to walk in, there's still a specific order that we have to go in, so it's important that we all get there. So we can be in the order and then walk in. And then just sit down, and we all walk back out afterwards, and then the weather's permitting, we will have photographs on the steps so that we can have a photograph of all our beautiful councillors together on the steps, and we can put them up, celebrate ourselves. So please don't be late. Half the music is put around there as well. Councillor Cockle.
Yeah, I've already given my apologies.
Yes, you have. Yes, thank you very much. On saying that, I'm also very delighted to be able to say that apart from Councillor Cockrell and possibly your wife, everybody has accepted to come to the civics, so we have over 70. So it's lovely that everybody was asked to accept it, so it should be. We've got mayors from places that I didn't know were new mayors, but they're coming, so it should be a really good afternoon and chance for people to meet people and have conversations. Number 18. This is to bring to your attention about the event. It says, this is when the councillors are coming in, Mr. Siddons, it says on the 2nd, it's the 8th of October at 3 o'clock. And also that the invitations will be sent out to 5 town councillors for this event. Could you please reply if you can vote when you get your invite? No, I appreciate that, all will. But it's just it's a meet and greet. Hopefully we can develop this further, but if you can just let us know once you get your invite, please. I'll be very grateful to you all. Thank you very much. On with this, I would just like to bring to the attention, and I would like to make this very clear about posting of information on social media regarding Private Town Council. Can I ask all councillors, when using social media in a private capacity, to ensure that your posts are correct? There's no misguided information going out there about Private Town Council. If you're going to post about Private Town Council, make sure your information is correct, please. I don't want any further misinformation being circulated. Thank you. So I'll have to say about that one. Unless anybody would like to say anything about that. Just to clarify, if you're posting anything, make sure what you're posting about Private Town Council is correct information. Yes, Councillor Robinson.
Can I've said on Facebook that the staff at Private Town Council do not shrug their shoulders.
That's correct information.
That is correct information, yes. I'm very angry at that one.
I think it's also important to make it clear if somebody's expressing their own opinion,
yes,
or if it is a decision